We've got some news stories today. These come from VeganFTA.com. If you don't know, we do have articles available. You can sign up to a newsletter so that you can keep up to date with everything. Let's go through the first article. This is contrary to what haters might say about veganism. Supermarkets are seeing the return of the vegan shopper as plant-based sales increase. This is at least for Germany. The supermarket chain Lidl has reported an increase in vegan sales of 30% in its stores in Germany. It occurred after it brought the price of plant-based products in line with their non-vegan traditional versions. So that's interesting. We're seeing the prices of the vegan versions actually drop, which is interesting because we don't have the subsidies like animal agriculture does. Do you want to explain subsidies briefly to anyone who doesn't know what that is?
Yeah, essentially, like, the government are lobbied essentially by the industries, and they receive as what's effectively donations from the government, and it's by no small amount, usually billions, like tens of billions in America anyway, and the UK it's in the billions, and that brings down the prices of the products, and the reality is that if the subsidies weren't there, the products would be, not only would the products be extortionate, but the individuals producing them wouldn't be making a living off of them either.
Yeah, so it's essentially like a hidden tax. You are paying more than you think you are for animal products, which is, fantastic. On the 4th of March 2024, another supermarket chain, Tesco, that's a popular one in the UK, published a report titled The Return of the Plant-Based Shopper as Fans Move into Scratch Cooking, in which it revealed that the plant-based food revolution is moving into its second phase, with Tesco seeing rising volume demand for meat-free ingredients and whole cuts. Tesco saw fish alternatives up by 100% versus last year over the previous 3 months. Tofu and tempeh up around 20%, plant-based steaks and chicken breasts up by 20%, and meat-free burgers up by 10%. Also, 40% of Tesco's customers polled are eating more vegetables now than they did 5 years ago. Other findings showed that 73% say they now eat more greens, 68% eat more root veg like carrots and sweet potato, and 62% eat more salad veg such as lettuce and peppers. So maybe maybe people are just being healthier and not so much plant-based. Is that cynical of me to say?
That's a shame that there won't be a balance of cynical versus non-cynical here, because I had the same similar sort of thought. Like,
yeah,
I'm wondering if it's really obviously a part of this will be thanks to there being more vegans, but I feel like some of it, and potentially a lot of it, will have to do with like people just being more informed and more health conscious, maybe even more environmentally conscious, and all these things. It's probably a reflection on all of the above, really. Vegans as well. Like, what do people in the chat think? Like, drop a little comment about what you suspect. But I mean, at least it's moving in that direction, I guess. Like, this is the trend that we want to see, of course.
Mm-hmm. Here's a quote: "Plant-based food has been the biggest culinary trend so far this century and attracted interest from vegans, vegetarians, and meat eaters alike who are curious as to what the fuss was all about. These latest sales figures show they're doing that by cooking from scratch." So their theory is that people are cooking from scratch and doing plant-based dishes. And obviously, if it is the case, as it is with Lidl, that people are buying more of these plant-based products, maybe they're cooking from scratch and then adding these plant-based products instead. And I thought it was interesting because it was a thing in the vegan movement to have a great distaste that putting vegan products next to flesh would be something that, because you want to go into a supermarket, you don't want to see the flesh. Like, that is the last thing you want to see when you're a vegan. But my speculation was that if it's closer to where people usually shop, if it's down the aisles they usually go, then they'll probably purchase it, more so than they would if it's kind of like shoved in a plant-based corner. And it seems that theory might be correct. Yeah.
My lazy side loves the plant-based corner, right?
Yeah, same.
It's so great. However, like if there was solid data that would show us like the plant-based products all sell more when they're in amongst like products that aren't plant-based, if that's the solid like consensus, then I would be obviously I would be happy with that. Like I would put up with it. But yeah, I love that, seeing that plant-based and vegetarian big sort of banner in Tesco. You can just walk right to it. But
I know, get everything you want. Absolutely.
Whatever's for the best, like we should do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any more thoughts on this one, or are we ready to move on to the next article?
I think that's all my thoughts. What about you?
Yeah, I am happy with that one. I think it's fantastic that it's rising. Obviously, it's based upon polling and surveys, and but obviously they're going to share if things are more popular than they were previously, and then that will mean probably that then more plant-based products come out, then the price gets cheaper. It is this kind of like effect that will benefit then the consumer, and then the consumer will be more likely to actually just consume these plant-based products and not complain about, oh, it's too expensive. Like I would do it, but if you can say, oh, it's the same price, oh, it's cheaper, it's one less rubbish excuse, basically. This one is actually kind of in the title. Can vegans not eat coconuts? UK supermarket co-op drops Thai coconut milk in its own brand products because of monkey exploitation. Kenny actually was talking to me about this. He was like, did you see this? And I'd heard about it briefly before, but I didn't know it was a specific known thing for a specific country.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts when you saw this? It's just ridiculous.
It literally just blew my mind, like completely blew my mind. I'm never like, the fascination never really ends with the ways in which we exploit animals, but they're literally like, when you look at the image, they're literally like enslaved individuals, aren't they? Like look at
chained
the
up.
man on to provide like labor. It's quite fascinating that they're doing that with non-humans. I don't really consume much like coconut milk at all.
Me
anyway,
neither.
but
No,
it
but
begs the question: how many of them involve that, right?
yeah, absolutely. And the UK supermarket chain Co-op has agreed not to source coconut milk from Thailand because of the common exploitation of monkeys in the country's coconut industry. It would be interesting to have a source of just what the ratio is, because if it's common, then it makes it sound like it's like a 60-70% at least kind of occurrence. From now on, Co-op's own brand coconut milk will now be sourced from Sri Lanka, where monkey labor is not used to harvest coconuts, as in Thailand, and it will be going into the 2,400 UK stores. The animal rights organization PETA, which has been campaigning on this issue for years, asked the company to extend this policy to include branded Thai coconut milk products, and urges everyone to avoid buying any coconut products sourced from Thailand due to the rampant abuse involved in their production. So PETA were involved in this. Shows the power of investigations, really, and then pressuring companies, because if they didn't, then firstly, how would a company even know? And then how would a company take action? They wouldn't really be incentivized to do so unless they had a good heart.
Yeah, and that drips down to like all the way down to consumer as well. Like with veganism, like we can only really act on what we know, and these like supply chains are so murky. But that's a really important answer to my sort of concern earlier on. Like, how common is this? Like, for people that love coconut milk, I guess, like, do all products have maybe somewhere on the can that will say from Thailand or made in Thailand? Or I feel like most products have that information on them.
Yes, most do.
Yeah. So that's something to look out for, vegans that are watching with your coconut milk.
Yeah, Peter Asia's third investigation conducted from December 2021 to July 2022 exposed coconut pickers, brokers, farms, and monkey training operations in 9 Thai provinces, including top producing ones. One trainer was recorded dangling a screaming monkey by the neck and striking him with a tether. A monkey used for breeding was kept chained alone in the sun without access to water, and other young monkeys languished in cramped cages. So that's pretty freaking horrible.
Yeah, like accurate with the statement rampant abuse, right? Like that's intense.
Mm-hmm. It makes you wonder, like, what other products? I know coconuts have been like that they've been lambasted in the past, and rightfully so. But it does make you wonder, like, how many seemingly plant-based foods, seemingly acceptable for vegans, are actually not.
Yeah, that's exactly the issue. But again, like we can only act on what we know. So big thanks to Jordy from VeganFTA for bringing it
For
up.
exposing it. Yeah, absolutely. All these articles are written by Geordie. So yeah, definitely check out these articles. They are available on veganfta.com. Are we ready to move on to the next one?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Let's go. This one is probably people already know about this one, but we thought it would be poignant because Geordie mentions in the article one of the tweets from the owners, quote, of these horses. So yeah, 2 army horses were seriously injured after bolting in London, UK. On the 24th of April, so this was a little while ago now, 7 horses ridden by British household cavalry soldiers were spooked by a loud noise, and 4 threw off their riders and ran through the city. 2 of the horses, as we saw in all those pictures, they sustained serious injuries after colliding with vehicles, and they were operated on. And you probably saw the images. They circled everywhere. If you are kind of in the vegan movement, yeah, you probably saw the pictures. But we thought it would be poignant to bring up the British Army tweet. An update following the incident yesterday where some of our horses were spooked in central London. All 3 soldiers involved are expected to recover fully and return to duty. So they mention the soldiers first. Standard. Oh, don't worry, the people are fine.
It's absolute standard, isn't it?
Absolute standard. Of the 7 horses which were spooked, 5 tried to bolt and 4, Vida, Trojan, Quaker, and Tennyson broke loose. 2 of the injured horses were operated on last night, with one transferred to an equine hospital. All remaining horses are being closely observed. Our horses received the highest standards of care, and those that did not undergo surgery are expected to return to duty in due course. We want to thank everyone who's shown such kindness and concern towards our soldiers and horses. We will provide more updates soon. So they're back. They're back to duty. They're back to the duty that they really want to be part of.
Don't you think viewing this stuff as a non-vegan and reading this stuff, it, like, just goes to show like how insane the non-vegan mindset is. Like it blows your mind on it after you've left that sphere. Like the first thing, what is it they say again? Yeah, they receive the highest standards of care. Yeah,
they have to put it in there. They have to put it in there, don't they? Oh, don't worry, they are being looked after.
Yeah. Because it's quite normal for animals, non-human animals that are in really high standards of care, to be in an environment where they could be spooked and sustain serious injuries from like vehicles. Like that's totally normal. And then the return to duty thing. It's like, where's the, like, duty insinuates to me anyway. It's like the purpose that you've like chosen, right? Like return to duty. Like, yeah, because the horses are in agreement that this is their duty, or the horses are willing to partake in whatever it is the British Army have got them partaking in. Like, it just insinuates so many like inaccurate things to me.
Yeah, it insinuates consent and full awareness, just all these things that the animals cannot give. And it's just like, it's so clear when you have the vegan perspective. It's so clear that, oh, this cannot be the case. So why you're even saying it sounds suspicious. It sounds like they're aware that they're doing something. It sounds like intentionally trying to downplay. Oh yeah. But yeah, just absolutely ridiculous. And there is a petition.
Oh yeah.
No, what I'll do is I'll put the link to the article in the chat for everybody. Please go over, because there is a petition attached. Do you want to talk about the petition at all?
Can you scroll? Oh yeah, it's in here. Sign petition to send the escaped military horses to a sanctuary. Yeah, that's the important part, right? It's like, this is what they deserve. No duty. Do you know what I mean? Return to duty, as if the horses are like waking up in the morning like, I can't wait to go to work today. I love my job. Yeah, the only right thing to do with these unfortunately domesticated animals is to have them live in sanctuary and leave them alone. So if you want to have your voice heard as a vegan about that, you want them to go to a sanctuary, sign the petition.
Are we ready for the next one? This one's actually kind of like lighthearted and funny instead.
Oh, we've got another one as well. Sick.
Yeah, we got the other one. We got the scones.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, Kenny, is it scone or scone?
I would say scones.
Would you? I got told off in Scotland for saying scone. Be like, scone.
Thanos just grunting there.
I heard that.
I would say scones, I think.
Okay, scone. Okay, red-faced anti-vegans learned that scones served at the UK National Trust attractions have been vegan for years, and obviously, yes, they are indeed red-faced. Imagine getting mad about this. Okay. People who moaned in anti-vegan reactionary newspapers such as the Daily Mail about using vegetable spread rather than butter in the plant-based scones served at National Trust's cafes have ended up red-faced when they've learned that the famous scones have been vegan for years. The cafes of many National Trust sites, the major UK landowners owning historical buildings and parks, have been serving traditional scones, a kind of traditional British sweet bread baked on a griddle or sheet. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm not massive on them. They're all right. They're very British, though. More than 3 million are sold every year. Oh my god! And they're all vegan, each one of them, including those served with cream teas at 300 plus tea rooms. However, some people feel that perhaps since the National Trust banned trail hunting on its land in 2021, the British institution has gone woke. It's gone woke.
I love that.
A recent compliant who was a long-time National Trust member from Bury St Edmunds told the Daily Mail, "I can't stand the taste of the new scones. They are not like traditional ones at all. They are flatter, drier, and have unappealing texture." Wonder if I liked them a few years ago.
That's just scones, by the way.
Yeah. They're flat, dry, and unappealing.
It's just that scones suck.
Another one said, "It makes me wonder what will happen next. Will they stop selling Madeira cake because of historical events in Madeira? There's far too much wokery going on in the National Trust. This is just the latest example." These people may now be embarrassed when they read the reply of the National Trust. Celia Richardson, the National Trust Director of Communications, said on X, "The culture warriors have reached the gates of the Citadel. Now our scones are secretly woke. If you come for our scones, you best not miss. National Trust scones have been made without butter for many years, and we publish all of our recipes."
Yeah. So not only have they just been plant-based for years, but like anybody could have found that out. I love that. Like, let's say they weren't plant-based and then they decided to make them plant-based. Like, let's say that was true, and the fact that they're like, "Oh, it's woke. There's too much wokery going on." It's like, just replace the word woke with like better. morally. Like,
things
more-
are improving and I'm unhappy about it.
Yeah. It's like just replace the term woke with like started caring more, and then it just
Yeah.
sounds as insane as it is. Like, come on, man, come on. This broccoli's vegan? Woke broccoli. Horrible woke broccoli. Broccoli is destroyed. Like, yeah, broccoli's always been plant-based. The scones have always been plant-based.
Bread is typically plant-based. Pasta's typically plant-based. Woke pasta.
Yeah, you can like add, what I'm trying to say, is like you can add the word vegan onto something that's always been vegan friendly, and these people will just lose it.
They get upset. If you say vegan water, they're not drinking it.
Yeah, they'll die of thirst before they drink vegan water. Oh my god.
Absolutely.